How to be a yoga teacher. Don't want to become a yoga teacher. How to become ripe fruit. We'll save that for later. So, you want to join the popular fad of becoming a yoga teacher. Let's be honest and ethical and logical. What language is the word yoga? Sanskrit. Define Sanskrit. The ancient, Arya, another misunderstood Sanskrit word, noble. The ancient Arya noble language of the Hindus, a religious language, the language of Dharma. The Sanskrit Hindu word yoga. Yuj, Atman, Brahman, Cha. To yoke Yuj to one's Atmana, soul if you will, and soul source, Brahman. Therefore, yoga is all about the Hindu religion. As Hindus seek to uncover, realize this inner essence, the Atmana, the not mind, the spirit or soul, if you will, which is also incorporeal or not body. Hindus achieve this goal of Atma Darshana Paramo Dharma. The supreme duty in life is to realize this Atmana, hence the meaning of yoga. Karma yoga, Hindu ethics, and selfless service. Bhakti yoga, Hindu devotions. Raja yoga, Hindu contemplations. Remember, meditation simply means to concentrate. Contemplate denotes going within. Contemplum, the temple within. Gyan or Jnana yoga, the inner and outer study. Within these classic four yogas, we have Hatha yoga, Hindu devotional postures, Mantra yoga, Hindu devotions, chants, Japa yoga, Hindu chants on beads, Nada yoga, Hindu music, Natha yoga, Hindu dance, and all of this awakens the inner Kundalini yoga. If we liken the classic four yogas, Karma yoga, Bhakti yoga, Raja yoga, Gyan yoga, to the natural fulfillment of the growth of a tree, we see that in the mature tree, everything is happening simultaneously. The roots, Karma yoga, the trunk reaching up, Bhakti yoga, the branches, the leaves, ultimately the flowers, Raja yoga, the royal state of contemplation, to the fruit, Gyan yoga. Karma, Bhakti, Raja, Jnana, Gyan. Roots, tree, branches, leaves, flowers, and fruit. So therefore, it is the Hindus who live this classical, if you will, dharmic yoga lifestyle, where one eventually emerges perhaps as a teacher, just like eventually the fruit ripens. So basically, we have only two types of yoga: authentic, truthful, real, and spurious, unreal, phony, if you will. Adya, asti, dvi yogas asi, sat, asat, cha. Today we have two yogas, real yoga and unreal yoga. Sat yoga, Hindu dharma asi, Hindu acharyas, dakshina. Asat yoga, near Hindu dharma, near Hindu acharyas, sarva deha vaishya. In other words, real yoga is all about Hindu Dharma, and true to all religions, taught by Hindus to anyone who chooses to learn, and also true to all religions. These sacred teachings are offered on a donation basis. The opposite, asat, spurious or phony yoga, if you will, is obviously not taught in a Hindu context, not taught by Hindus, and it's basically a business and, ironically, a physical exercise business. Now, in the classic yogas, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raja Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Hatha Yoga, Mantra Yoga, Japa Yoga, Nada Yoga, Natha Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, there was only one of these Hindu yogas that the ancient rishis said to keep secret or not to put on display. And that was Hatha Yoga, the very yoga that is so blatantly misused today by the so-called yoga teachers. Hatha Yoga are Hindu devotional postures. The very meaning of the word Hatha is adoration to Shiva and Vishnu, Hara and Hari, and the moon and the sun, Ta. Shiva is always associated with the moon, Chandra, and Vishnu with the sun, Surya. So true Hatha Yoga are Hindu devotional postures to Shiva and Vishnu and the several incarnations of Vishnu, and also to the elements, to trees, to animals. So why did these wise Hindus, these rishis, say to keep this Hatha Yoga secret? And we find reference to this in the classic Hindu text that do deal with Hatha Yoga asanas and Kundalini and the chakras. The Hatha Yoga Pradipika, Giranda Samhita, Siva Samhita, and the Siddha Siddhanta Padatti of Yogi Gorakanath. And all four of these classic texts say basically the same thing. Hatha Vidya Bhaveda Yabate Guya Niveda Tu Prakashavaranam. This knowledge, Vidya, of Hatha is powerful, Bhaveda, when kept secret, Guha, and loses power, Niveda, when displayed, Prakashavaranam. Realizing that in Hatha Yoga, there is a focus on the physical body. The rishis knew that to the naive and actually the corrupt, they would get lost in body image. Enter today's yoga and today's so-called yoga teacher and yoga teacher training, yoga businesses. Basically all about adoration of the physical body. An important component, of course, but not to be overemphasized. And it is not a coincidence that there is all manner of absurdity in the name of yoga today, along with horrific scandals, both monetary and sexual. Hot yoga Bikram, for example, and many others. So because of this open display of what was supposed to be sacred and not on display, we have hot yoga and power yoga and doggy yoga and laughter yoga and nude yoga and goat yoga and beer yoga and Ted's yoga and Kino's yoga, etc., or ad nauseum. Besides openly and wrongfully displaying this sacred Hatha Yoga of Hinduism, consider for a moment what one can accomplish in 200 hours. It takes 1,500 hours to become a dog groomer. To sit for your license to become a barber. It takes thousands of hours to become a master plumber, electrician. 10,000 hours is often a prerequisite for achieving mastery of any subject. And in the Hindu yoga dharma, the entire religious cultural lifestyle points to those who spend decades in study and practice of their art, be it music, religious dance, studies, scriptures, the religion itself. Devout Hindus spend decades in study and preparation and may eventually one day be looked to as a teacher, as a natural outcome of this total commitment. In the Yoga Sutras, for example, the Saiva Hindu Guru Patanjali, who makes absolutely no mention of any specific Hatha Yoga asana. You can see our podcast on the 8 broken limbs of yoga, i.e. today's so-called Ashtanga Yoga. Guru Patanjali says, Sabdayananupati vastu sunyo vikalpaha. One enters into delusion when they take word facts devoid of meaning, i.e. the true meaning of the word yoga, the Sanskrit Hindu word yoga, yujatman brahmancha. As far as practicing, Guru Patanjali says, Dirga kala nairantarya satkara savito. First find a true sat practice. Then study for a long time, dirga kala, uninterrupted nairantarya. And just what does a long time mean? Well, again, in the arts, the religious arts, music and dance, decades of study. When one goes to a guru for traditional Hindu studies, they're considered a brahmachari, no matter what their age, for a minimum of 12 years. Often in the Hindu yoga dharma, one goes overboard to try to prove a point. For example, in the Chandogya Upanishad, we have the meeting of Indra and Virochana to their guru Prajapati. And they both go to study for 32 years. And in those 32 years, they learn all about the physical body. After the 32 years, Virochana leaves, never to be seen again. But note, 32 years of study, thinking that it was all about the physical body. Indra, however, was not satisfied and said, no, Guruji, this can't be just about the physical body. So the Guru says, oh, wonderful, stay with me for another 32 years. During which time, Prajapati teaches Indra about the emotional nature, the devotions, puja, if you will. After another 32 years, leaves, but thinks for a moment and comes back and says, no, it can't be just about the emotional nature. The Guru says, right, stay with me another 32 years. Teaches him all about the mental aspects and contemplation. This is also found in the story of Satyakama meeting Nandi the bull, who teaches him the 4 legs of Brahman. Basically, this understanding of karma bhakti rajayana, the body, the mind, the emotions. So after the third 32 years, making 96 years, Indra was still not satisfied and said, Guruji, it can't just be about the body and the emotions and the mind. There's got to be more than this, because these are changing, leaving us all the time. The Guru says, very good, very wise. Stay with me another 5 years. For a total of 101 years before ever attempting to teach. True. Fantastic story. But contrast this with today's 200-hour professional, for that is the meaning of certified. That means the public can trust you to be basically an authority on a subject. And ironically, actually criminally, these 200-hour certified professional yogis are hired in hospitals and schools, etc., thereby thoroughly insulting devout Hindus, those who spend decades in study and commitment. So how to become a real yoga teacher as opposed to a spurious or phony yoga teacher? Obviously, the latter will prevail, for this is easy. Takes basically no commitment, very little study, as one quickly becomes a certified yoga teacher, opens their studio, and then offers teacher training, and it becomes a big business. Just another example of the elitist colonial mindset, the invader mindset, that simply takes from established traditions. However, if one is serious and really wants to become a true teacher of any aspect of the Hindu Yoga Dharma, don't strive to become a teacher. Just become immersed in the Hindu Yoga Dharma. If one is not a Hindu by birth and entering into it as a young age, one can convert or adopt to Hinduism if they've been born into another religion or been initiated into another religion, or perhaps have no religion at all. What it takes to become part of any religion is serious study and then serious commitment, a formal commitment. And in the case of one who has already committed to another religion, perhaps when young, and felt that this was not the religion for them, one can do the ethical thing. They can ethically leave that religion, for all religions have their formal initiation rites. Leave that religion. Be ethical about it. Be honest. Then study the new religion, in this case the Hindu Yoga Dharma, and become formally admitted. And it is very common in any religion to take on a name that is associated with that religion. Therefore, Hindus do not have Judeo or Christian names. When one becomes a Hindu, even those born with Sanskrit, Tamil, etc. names often have their names changed when they become yogis and swamis. But one coming from another religion would necessarily have an initiation ceremony called the Namakarana Samskara when they have the name-giving sacrament and take on one of the divine names. Remember, Sanskrit is a divine language, the language of Hinduism. So difficult as this appears to those who have bought in to this spurious yoga movement, this spurious yoga business stuff, do the right thing. Either get out of the business altogether, and if one is primarily interested in stretching and relaxation exercises, why not simply be honest and do that? But don't call it yoga. Don't call it hatha yoga. However, if one wants to really do the right thing, give this up and then start studying. And then at some point, make a formal commitment to the Hindu Yoga Dharma. And then maybe one will evolve into a teacher. This would be respecting the sacredness of the Hindu Yoga Dharma. You are encouraged to do the right thing and stop this crass religious appropriation. So this message is not just for those who are into the spurious or phony yoga movement of today. However good they may think their intentions are, they need to seriously consider that they're actually insulting millions and millions of Hindus past and present who have dedicated their entire lives to this Hindu yoga religion before they ever even thought of attempting to teach it. Remember that the established religions of the world only came into existence because of dedicated people who committed their whole lives to that, not some simple 200-hour certification. But this message is also for the Hindus. And ironically, some don't even want to call themselves Hindus, which creates further divide. To those who think that Hindu Dharma, or sometimes Sanatan Dharma, and who knows what's eternal, is the universal way and everything is merely an expression of it, that is as delusional as any monotheistic religion. And there are many Indians, Hindus, and obviously the track record is extensive of invasions into India, invasions into the Hindu Yoga Dharma, distortions, and many Hindus have simply given up and they simply capitulate to the colonizers, to the invaders. Some have said they're even so colonized they don't realize how colonized they are. To these Indians, to these Hindus actually, and actually we have to look to the many quote-unquote leaders from Muktananda to Swamis, quote-unquote Rama, Satchitananda, to Iyengar, to even Krishnamacharya, who really started this mess in a sense, to Joyce, to Bikram, to Rajneesh, the later Osho, and the current Sadhguru pun intended. These people exacerbate the issue, creating huge popularity cults that have often ended up with disastrous results, to say the least. To the Hindus, I would say it's time to stand up and educate rather than capitulate. And this is not easy. It takes courage. It takes strength. Unfortunately, we have many Uncle and Auntie Thomasos. If you get the meaning here, in the slave days, there were the Uncle Toms, the house slave who capitulated to the masters and ruled over the field slaves. So it's way past time for Hindus to wake up and be proud to be a Hindu and recognize the very specifics of this Hindu yoga, religious, spiritual, scientific lifestyle. As one young devotee said, I've got a dot on my head and it's really, really red and it's a bindu because I'm a Hindu and I am proud to be a Hindu. What about you? And I do yoga because it's Hindu. Karma Bhakti Hatha is too. Rajayana, it's all yoga. It's all Hindu. It's not boga, bogus. The choice is up to you. Sat or asat. Real or phony yoga. Stand up for the Dharma, Hindus, just like Ganesha is. Jai Ganesh. Namaste.